Once, long before the time of two-leggers, a great cold came across the earth. This cold was the first winter, and in the beginning, all the animals were overjoyed. They had never seen this funny white stuff called snow before, but as the snow began to pile higher and higher, and food became scarcer and scarcer, the animals began to worry. So they all gathered together in a great council, four-legs, crawlers, swimmers, and flyers, to decide what to do. Bear led this meeting, and he stood upon his great height, far above all the other animals, and said in his booming voice, "Let us decide who will go to talk to the Creator, for he is the only one who can free us from this winter." The animals agreed, but they couldn't decide who would go. Wolf was the first to volunteer. "I shall go," Wolf said. "I can run farther and faster than many of you, and I can howl back my progress. Oh, oh!" The animals liked this plan, but Bear shook his head. "You may run farther and faster than any of us, but can you fly?" Wolf had to think about this for a minute before he admitted that no, he could not fly. And as every animal knew, the Creator lived in a castle far above them all, so it would have to be one of the flyers who would go. Amongst the flyers, there were many volunteers. Eagle, for instance, boasted of his glory and his bravery and his strength. He could make it, no problem. But Bear shook his head again. "Sorry, Eagle, but nobody really wants to listen to your voice. The Creator especially." Eagle had to admit he wasn't the most musical of the birds. Owl came next. "Who could possibly argue against me?" she said. "I am a strong, swift flyer, and this journey will take days and nights on end. I may have the softer of the voices here, but who could possibly outmatch me in a night flight?" The animals liked this plan as well. But again, Bear shook his head. "You are so quiet, friend Owl. We did not hear you coming when you arrived. Will the Creator?" Owl thought for a moment and had to agree. Her greatest pride, her sneaky hunting skills, might not serve her well in this mission. Finally, one last bird came forward. This bird had feathers that shone in 1,000 different colors. Some of them we don't even have anymore. And when she spoke, her voice was the most musical one that any of the animals had ever heard. For this bird was Crow. "Let me go," she said. "I am bright, I am beautiful. None of you ever ignore me. And my voice, I've heard it tell that it's even better than friend Nightingale's. So perhaps the Creator will listen to me." The animals agreed, even Bear. Crow flew for days and nights before she finally arrived at the Sky Palace. But the Creator was so busy. Crow didn't mind, though. She had a plan. She perched outside of the Sky Palace and began to sing, softly and sweetly at first, but louder and more beautifully with every single word. Everyone in the Sky Palace stopped and listened, taken aback by the beauty of the song. They ran outside, the Creator included, and saw immediately the beautiful multicolored feathers of Rainbow Crow. After she had finished her song, the Creator approached her. "Crow, you have done well to bring us this gift. Your music, we have not heard the like before. I will grant you anything you wish." "Oh, Creator," Crow said, "the winter you have brought us, it was fun at first, but people, animals, we can't last much longer. will you please melt the snow again? The creator thought for a moment. He could not melt the snow himself. He could not wish away winter when he had wished it into being. But he could think of something new. Grabbing a stick and holding it up to the sun, he created the first flame and gave this stick to Crow, bidding her to carry it down as quickly as she could, for once it burned out, that would be it, and the world would be forever bound in ice and snow. Crow took off, flying faster and farther than she ever had before, down and down and down, until the wind chilled her, but the flames licked around her and warmed her again. In fact, it felt so nice at first that she didn't notice when her feathers caught on fire. And even as she flew farther, the smoke started to seep into her throat. But by the time she noticed, it was too late, and she could only keep on flying faster and faster and faster, hoping beyond hope that she could make it before the stick burned down to nothing. And so she began to call as she came near. "Friends!" she said around the smoke in her throat. "Friends! Please! Bring wood! Bring leaves! Hurry!" The animals quickly did as they were told, and by the time Crow arrived, a mountain unlike any other of sticks and leaves and debris had been gathered. When Crow arrived and dropped that last bit of that stick, the mountain burst into a flame unlike any you've ever seen before, so huge and so great that it melted the entire earth and brought to us the first spring. And the animals celebrated and laughed and played amongst the flowers and all the blooming things, all except for one little black bird. Bear noticed this bird and walked over to her. "Friend!" he boomed. "Come, dance with us, sing!" The little black bird looked at him with eyes that seemed familiar, Rainbow Crow's eyes. And then she opened her mouth to sing, and out came. That night, Crow sat alone, watching the still burning flames, mourning her lost voice. She was happy to have saved her friends, but things would never be the same. That was when the Creator came to see how his gift had been received. "Crow," he said, "you have done well, and you have made many sacrifices. So I will grant you a few more gifts." Crow looked at him, hopeful, as he knelt down to her level. "Although your flesh smells burned and crisped, it tastes that way now as well, so you will never be hunted for your meat. And though your voice may no longer be as beautiful as what I heard earlier, you will never be caged as your friends the songbirds. And though you fear you have lost the beautiful rainbows in your feathers, come, hold a wing up to the fire." Cautiously, Crow hopped a little closer to the flames and held up a wing. And in the glinting firelight, she saw something. Her feathers gleamed and glittered and shone with 1,000 rainbows.